Tehran. Abbas Araghchi, in fact, has reacted to Marco Rubio, the US Secretary of State, saying that Rubio admitted what we all knew. US has entered a war of choice on behalf of Israel. There was never any so-called Iranian threat. Shedding of both American and Iranian blood is thus on Israel first. American people deserve better and should take their country.
Absolutely, Araghchi. Weren't we really expecting such a reaction that was coming in from Iran, particularly after that assertion by Marco Rubio on film, where he said that we had no choice but to enter the war. Had Iran been attacked by, let's say, an Israel, they would have ended up attacking us, and that's why we wanted to attack them first. That was the kind of assertion that came in from Rubio, and now we are seeing this reaction by the foreign minister, where he's pretty much really quoting what Marco Rubio has said and then reacting on exactly the same.
On that note, let's quickly go across to our guests. I'm joined in by Ambassador Deepak Vohra, former diplomat, also joined in by Major General Sanjay Miston, who's a defense expert. We will, in fact, be joined in by Lieutenant Colonel Daniel Davis, also who's a senior fellow at the Defense Priorities. But many thanks to you, Ambassador Vohra. If I could have you weigh in on this reaction that has come in first from the US Secretary of State, Marco Rubio, of course, placing the buck onto Israel, as Abbas Araghchi, the Iranian foreign minister, has gone on to say that this is a war of choice that the United States has entered into.
Well, thank you very much, ma'am. Always a pleasure to be with you early in the morning. Can you hear me?
Please go ahead.
Right. Thank you very much. Delightful to wake up and talk about this rubbish that is going on over there. Couple of things that I'd like to highlight, and which you have done, but I'd like to repeat it for the millions of people who watch your program. Where is the Muslim Ummah? I'm interested in knowing. I thought Iran was an Islamic country, one of the 57 members of the Organization of Islamic Cooperation. Not a choo from any of these jokers. So it has nothing to do with religion. National interest trumps religion when it comes to issues like this. Not even humanitarian aid, ma'am. Have you noticed this? No one has got, forget about these crowds of lunatics who go around attacking US diplomatic missions and so on. No one has sent $1 to Iran. Iran is alone. Now, who's to blame for this? Iran itself. The Arab nations would like to see the mullah regime defanged, if not eliminated. This is the first reality which I observe in this region where I've spent 20 years. What has been said, what is going to happen next? Donald Trump means what he says. He said they haven't even seen a small percentage of American power, which means it's going to get worse. Till such time as Iran, there's nobody left to surrender. Till such time as Iran says, all right, I've been thrashed enough, stop. Who's going to say that? I believe it's the fellow sitting in the United States, the son of the Shah, probably some kind of a rallying figure. I've seen this in the past. He's going to come. He's going to provide what is called the healing touch. I don't know what he's going to heal. But ma'am, the longer this continues, take it from me.
All right.
Iran will take 50 years to recover. It's been devastated. I mean, Ukraine has only lost 90% of its infrastructure. Iran is in the process of losing 100%. So I just hope, my heart hopes that something positive will emerge. Iran has widened the conflict, as you have rightly pointed out, to all the Arab fellows, and they, in a tiny little Qatar, has said, we'll teach you a lesson, you don't do things like this. But my mind says it's not going to end anytime soon, till the mullahs are thrown into the dustbin of history.
All right, even the Americans are saying that. In fact, POTUS has put it out there that it's going to be 4 to 5 weeks. And that's oddly, in fact, being juxtaposed with this statement of Marco Rubio as well. Let me bring in Daniel Davis in on this. The fact that this is a very ideological line that has been taken by Araghchi, where he's not just quoted by what has come out of Washington, he's also said that this is against the people of America. How is America going to counter this statement?
Well, I know a lot of people would like to hear that, and certainly in Iran they want that to be the case, but it hasn't gotten that much interest. I certainly noticed in my reading of it, I heard it immediately and was infuriated by it, that the United States would be drawn into a war, not because we needed to, not because our security was threatened, but because we felt pressured by the leader of another country who themselves was not threatened by Iran, but that they wanted to attack them. And the fact that we have now admitted that that's the justification, does open up some really painful questions. The question is going to be in the United States, what is going to be done about that? And unfortunately, just the recent history, I doubt it's going to have much of an impact, because once you get into conflict, people will say, well, we'll figure that out later. But first, we have to worry about the war we have on our hands. And especially because American troops have been killed in action already, the focus is going to be on that, which unfortunately is not really the good thing, because we do need to see this. We should not go further into a war that we don't need to fight. But, you know, there's all kinds of mixed up accusations now. Rubio admitted that, but then Secretary of War Hegseth said that there was a different set of standards. President Trump said there was a different reason. So which one are you going to believe? And the problem is only one man matters, and that's Donald Trump.
Lieutenant Colonel Davis, stay with us. We're getting in some more breaking inputs. In fact, the targeting continues. This, as the Iraqi resistance group has also reacted, which we will be bringing to you in just a bit, and more breaking inputs. But perhaps, Lieutenant Colonel Davis, you could also weigh in on the nature of how this civilian targeting, not just in the US allies in the Middle East, is also taking a toll in Iran. I woke up this morning learning of the news that 700 civilians are already dead in Iran.
Yeah, I mean, it's just terrible. And you know, and you have this when you have this this bombing where you're going into cities, and it looks like a lot of this is coming. A lot of the shots you've seen go into Tehran and some of these other locations. Obviously, the one big one that hit this school of young girls, and that's the biggest tragedy so far. But there's a whole lot more than that. And when you are firing into cities, that's what you're going to have. And then you look at the same thing. Lots of shots from Iran into cities in Dubai, into Bahrain, into Tel Aviv, etc. So this is going on both sides. It doesn't look like either side is following the laws of war. It looks like both sides are trying to cause civilian pain on the other side to try to get their governments to capitulate to them. And I think all it's going to do is cause both sides to dig in deeper and to not give in, and to galvanize their desire to continue
We're getting
going
in
until they
some
succeed.
breaking inputs. I'm so sorry to interrupt you there.